For today's project, we're going to be using what is called neutral colors. Neutral colors are colors that are not found on the color wheel, but are made using colors from the color wheel. So if you mix a lot of colors together, usually you get like a tan or a brown or a dark brown. Those are all neutral colors. So just think of colors that if you just mix all your paint together, what kind of color would you get? Those are called neutral colors. Another way I like to think about it is a lot of times neutral colors are found in nature and especially our bodies. So if a color can be your skin color or natural hair color, like brown, black, blonde hair is not bright yellow, but it's more of a tan color. All of those colors are neutral colors. So here are some examples of neutral colors. First and second graders have this page in their art workbook. So if you choose to do art workbook, you can go ahead and fill this page in. If you don't know what some of those colors are, it might be fun to look it up on your computer and then fill it in with the closest color you have with your coloring tools. So even with just browns, there's lighter browns like tan, darker browns like mahogany or burnt sienna. So when you think of your skin color, don't just think brown. Think about which kind of brown. If you have light skin color, don't just think peach. Are you closer to a tan? Are you more of an apricot? So pick whatever you think is closest to you from the tools that you have. If you're going to do this page, also try filling this part in. What color is your hair color? Again, instead of just writing brown or black, look at what kind of color your hair actually is and write down the exact color that you found. Same thing with your skin color. Write down the exact skin color that you are able to find. And again, you can use your computer to look up different colors if you're interested. And also, a lot of animals have neutral colors too. So reptiles like snakes and lizards don't have neutral colors, but if you think of mammals that have fur, a lot of them are neutral colors. Dogs are usually brown or tan. Cats might have an orangish brown color or black and white. So those are all neutral colors. So write down what kind of animal is your favorite or is your pet and what kind of color he or she has. I also have a nice book that talks about the color of your skin with all of the beautiful neutral colors. I'll link a read aloud of that video in this week's assignment. If you're interested, you can watch that as well. So today we're going to be starting to color our self-portrait, but before you color, there's one step you can do if you want to. That is to take your Sharpie marker and trace the outline of your self-portrait. If you're going to do that, make sure to trace all of your pencil lines. And I would recommend this for younger artists in first grade and second grade. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. For third and fourth graders, it's also optional. If you think that your self-portrait will look better by doing Sharpie, then go ahead. If you don't want to, and you want to have those natural pencil lines, then that is okay too. So I'm gonna leave that up to you. I'll show you real quick what my traced example looks like in a second. So here's my finished traced example. Remember to trace the big lines as well as your details like in the eyes and the ears and the hair. And if you still see a lot of your pencil marks, then also make sure you erase that with your eraser before you start coloring. So now if you're gonna do Sharpie, this is where you wanna start before you start coloring. So in my coloring example, I'm actually going to use my not Sharpied version. And I will show you step by step how to color the skin color and the hair color only today. So today we're gonna color just your skin color and your hair color of your realistic self-portrait. The rest we'll color next week. So the first step is to find a crayon or colored pencil or whatever you're using that matches your skin color the best. If you have something like this is a set of neutral color crayons that works really well for portraits like this. That's excellent. You can go ahead and pick from a wide selection. But if you don't have a wide selection, you just have regular crayons, that is totally okay. Just go through your crayons and you're not going to find a perfect match. You're just going to check at the back of your hand and find whatever you think matches the closest out of the selections you have. So for my selection if I'm gonna use my regular crayon set. Probably the middle one would be the closest. It's not a perfect match, but I would probably pick this one. Now if I had more selections of neutral colors like this one, then I could look through and really try to match as close as I can. Again, it's not going to be a perfect match. It never is, because these are made in a factory and we're not. So go ahead and pick the color that you think matches your skin color best. The back of your hand is a really good place to test that. So I think I'm going to use this one. This is a pretty good match. This color is called light golden. So then you're going to very carefully color inside of your lines as neatly as you can. When you color, you don't always have to stay inside your lines, but when we're doing something realistic like this, it is best to stay inside the lines. Make sure your lines are close to each other so that's not scribbly. Color small sections. So don't try to color everything at once. That's how you get scribbly lines. You'll want to start with small sections. Make sure that area is nice and colored. Then move on to a separate section. One way to know that you really colored nice and evenly with crayons is if you look at it in the light. If the paper has a shiny texture, then you know that that paper is covered and it's coated with that crayon. So that is what you would want to aim for. If you see any white peeking through your scribbles, just go back and add your colors in. Again, we're only going to be coloring the skin and hair today, so really take your time to try and get your best craftsmanship. Our goal today is to develop craft. Craftsmanship is a very important part of art. That means to use your tools the best you can and working as neatly as you can. Now moving on to the face, same thing. Work in small sections. And if you get confused about which part to color on your face, look in a mirror. If it's made of skin, you're going to be coloring it with your skin color. And one thing that I would like you to do is to color your lips. You're going to color your lips with your skin color first. And then next week we're going to be adding a little bit of a pinker or red or oranger color on top of your lips. If you color your lips with a regular skin color first, then your lips are going to look more natural. It's not going to make it look like you're wearing lipstick. So try and color your lips with your skin color this week too. So now my skin is colored. Next is the hair. So hair, you're gonna do the same thing. If you have short hair, look in the mirror, find a color that you think matches best to your color. If you have long hair, you can just look at the ends of your hair too. So again, if you have lots of selections of neutral colors, you can get a more exact match, but you can still probably get a pretty close match with regular crayons as well. So with hair is usually not just one solid color. There's usually gonna be 2 or 3 colors that you see. Usually the end of your hair, that's the bottom part, is gonna be a little bit lighter because it'll be in the sun for longer. And then the top part of your head will be a little bit darker. So I would like you to pick at least 2 colors to try out. I have a darker brown called Extra Deep Almond, and then I have a regular brown. So I'm going to start by coloring my hair, but for hair, the trick is to color in the direction of your hair. So my hair is coming down, so my lines are going to be coming down too. And then the end of the hair, I will be using some lighter brown for my hair, but of course use the hair color that matches yourself. Going in the direction of my hair. And for my hairstyle, it covers up the eyebrows. But your eyebrows are gonna be usually a pretty similar color to your hair. So if you see your eyebrows in a mirror and in your self-portrait, go ahead and color your eyebrows too. You can color it right now as well. Now the top of my head, coloring in the direction of my hair. And then going in with my lighter color too. Same thing with my ponytail. So now I have my hair and my skin colored with neutral colors. Now if you color over your hair and sometimes your hairstyle kind of blends together and you can't really tell what's going on. If that happens, you could, and this is optional, you don't have to, but you could also find a darker crayon. This one is called Black Hair, but I think it's just a regular black. And then you can add in some of those border lines to show what the hair is actually doing, adding some texture. So sometimes that helps it easier to see what's going on with the hair. If you have really light blonde hair, you could also use a brown instead of a black, so that's a little bit more natural. So now I outline the hair a little bit so that we can tell where the outline of each of those hair pieces are. And we will color the rest of the picture next time. So just focus on the skin and the hair and try your best to develop your craft coloring those areas. Make sure you send me your work in progress when you're finished through Art Sonia or Canvas. Let me know if you have any questions.